they think, oftentimes they'll have an idea in their heads about something being a phenomenal decision, okay? And they are almost always wrong. This is a constant. All right, let's get started on the UN Security Council vote. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, let's do it. Wait, is the car supposed to come in like half an hour at this point? Alex, is the car coming in half an hour? That's like insanely early. Okay. All right, I'm going to cram some news now.
14-1, the United States abstaining. Just take us through what we understand this resolution is about and why this one has passed, but the US's one on Friday didn't.
Well, the language has been changed from the one on...
There's not even 30 minutes news speedrun. I have an hour in the car. I'll cover the news in the car. Okay? Yeah, we're news maxing. Of course, we're also 3-minute ad maxing at the top of the hour, so you should be subscribe maxing in order to avoid those ads at the top of the hour. Let's go.
Friday, the United States, of course, has abstained from it, although the language is actually stronger than the one that they put forward on Friday. But it is linked to the unconditional release of hostages, which I think would have been a deal breaker as far as the United States is concerned. But it's taken 5 months, Kamali, to get this far. You heard the round of applause in the chamber. Now, you should remember that this is legally binding, but when it comes to these kind of resolutions, it is difficult to legally enforce them. But it is calling for an immediate ceasefire for the rest of the month of Ramadan. There's about 2 weeks left from that. But we heard the reasons about why the United States abstained from their representative, Linda Thomas Greenfield. This is what she had to say.
We appreciated the willingness of members.
Yeah, they fucking abstain because they suck dick, okay? That's why. They're bad. They're bad guys. And they don't like good things, and they like bad things. That's why they abstain from it. That's the real reason. It's very simple.
Members of this council to take some of our edits and improve on this resolution. Still, certain key edits were ignored, including our request to add a condemnation of Hamas. And we did not agree with everything in the resolution. For that reason, we were unfortunately not able to vote yes. However, as I've said before, we fully support some of the critical objectives in this non-binding resolution. And we believe it was important for the council to speak out and make clear that our ceasefire any ceasefire must come with the release of all hostages.
Well, it certainly has significant moral weight as well on all parties in the conflict to bring about an end. Of course, negotiations have been going on in Qatar. The Israeli negotiating team came back over the weekend. They're saying that there is a 50-50 chance that a deal will be put in place. But of course, the ceasefire, the UN resolution, the weight really, the global consensus that this needs to come to a stop and build up to a more permanent ceasefire is becoming much greater. And that's because the humanitarian situation in Gaza is deteriorating all the time. The number of people who have been killed is rising astronomically. And also the UN is warning that...
I can't believe the anti-Semitism coming out of the United States Security Council. The UN Security Council is fucked up, boys. They did it again. They did it again. Not saying, hey, Israel, cut it out, at least during Ramadan. Crazy stuff. Real big stuff coming out. I mean, the fact that the United States abstained from it is actually important instead of vetoing it, which was what they've been doing for the past 5 months. I guess like it is now officially gotten to that point. Hey, maybe in another 5 months when we get like 60,000, maybe 100,000 dead Palestinian children, the United States will potentially go, hey, Israel, we actually think this is bad and wrong. Cut it out. We are no longer abstaining from a UN Security Council vote. We went from veto to abstain to full blown. Are you wearing that? That's insane. Oh, these are actually your pajamas? Oh, I thought you were wearing that to the... That's crazy. Here, come show your gear. I don't know. I look at everything as jerry-rigged. Look at everything is jerry-rigged here. Cause like this, cause I couldn't, this is Alex's camera. I think, or yours. I have a full sandwich as well. You don't even need to have it. There's, I bought heaps. I bought heaps of Sammys, mate. I bought heaps. Here, I'll take off the noise.
An avocado or half my black.
We'll have a BLE. Oh, wait, that's yours.
That's bacon, egg, and
Ooh.
radish.
I bought a bunch, yeah. I bought like 2 of
Thank you.
almost everything. And cold brew as well. If you want some.
You say.
Alexa, what kind of marine life are you hoping to see show Hasan while snorkeling? First of all, they're still sleeping. Okay, chat. Let him go and do their thing. Let him go do their thing, okay? But yeah, I will be snorkeling. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, I'm gonna put the noise gate back on, and we're gonna continue with the regular old broadcast. Let's go.
That there is the imminent threat
I
of
burped.
starvation,
Fuck off.
particularly in the north of Gaza, unless a ceasefire comes in, and the amount of aid being delivered is not ramped up significantly.
Within the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said he will not be sending a delegation to Washington as a result of this vote. Well, standing by for us now in Jerusalem with a bit more on that is our senior reporter, Catherine Norris-Trent. Catherine, good to talk to you. What more can you tell us today about the Israeli reaction?
Hello there, Nadia. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, is said to be furious that the US failed to veto this resolution calling for a ceasefire, and he acted quickly, immediately, pretty much putting out a statement saying that that delegation of senior Israeli officials, which had been requested by Joe Biden, the US president, to travel to Washington, D.C., to the White House for talks, to listen to the US proposals for an alternative to an all-out ground offensive in Rafah. That delegation won't be leaving, says Benjamin Netanyahu. He said that the US decision not to veto this ceasefire.
He's gonna kill the American delegation. He's like, we have decided that the American envoy is actually also working with Hamas, and we cannot allow that kind of thing to occur. So we had to promptly and swiftly execute the American delegation at the UN for being a part of Hamas. My Benjamin Netanyahu kind of goes hard, I think, low-key. I think I do a decent Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I thought you meant. Okay.
My-
I thought you were saying Benjamin Netanyahu goes hard.
No, his voice is very deep like this, but I'm saying I think I do a decent job, like a decent Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah. You're also really good at copying his politics and, believing in his cause.
Yeah.
You do that really well.
Well, that too. I mean, obviously, like the reason why I'm so good at imitating him is because I love him for, his genocide.
Yeah.
There's no need. No, actually, I like him for everything else. Separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Benjamin Netanyahu, phenomenal at domestic politics, actually. The apartheid stuff is like one thing. Hating Palestinians is one thing. But, all the other stuff, he has great tax reform. Do Israelis even do domestic politics? I feel like everything is like, everything is geared around genocide. Like, I feel like the government literally is like, hey, by the way, we've decided to like execute gays. Like, and they'll be like, no, don't do that. But then also like the next day they'll be like, oh, but the Palestinian gays are being executed too. So I guess like we should focus on that, because, they're very secular, but then psychopathic right-wingers will completely captivate the entire population by being like, hey, I know you guys hate this shit. I know you guys hate like, how far right we are, but also think about how many Palestinians we're killing. You know what I mean? It's just how it is.
Which doesn't call first for a liberation of Israeli hostages, hurts Israel's war effort and contradicts the US stance.
It hurts Israel's war effort because I can't believe the UN didn't demand the hostage release from the hostage release that cannot logistically happen without a ceasefire. Like, this is so stupid. A liberal Zionist concludes today was the day Netanyahu decided to lose the war. Shai Ben Ephraim says, American officials feel that Bibi is causing a diplomatic crisis intentionally. One said, a lot of that is self-defeating. The prime minister could have chosen a different course to align with the U.S. on the meaning of this resolution. He chose not to, apparently on political purposes. Regarding the meeting scheduled in Washington on the Rafah operation canceled by Netanyahu, an official said he was afraid he might offer something reasonable. He was afraid we might offer something reasonable. He would rather than a fight with us, even if it's not in Israel's interest. Israeli officials, meanwhile, told Channel 12 that canceling the meetings in D.C. is a miserable decision that will haunt us. Dude, Dude, I love that he's going after America. I kind of think it's dope.
But he's canceling a meeting.
No. I'm saying that like he's like he has openly and since day one been like, Joe Biden, I don't care that you bear hugged me. F your mom. Like Joe Biden will come out and be like, no, we love a two-state, Jack. Like, you know, we got a Palestinian state.
Joe Biden calls him annoying in private or something. Well, you know,
whoa, dude. Are we allowed to say that? Are we allowed to? Is he allowed to say that? He's pretty crazy. He's been pretty crazy. Joe Biden will come out and be like, listen, Jack, you can kill every Palestinian child, but one day there will be a two-state solution. And then Benjamin Netanyahu will be like, no, there won't be. Like the next day or like 3 hours later. Bro, they had Anthony Blinken go to Israel to be like, do not invade Rafah. Do not invade Rafah. I'm telling you right now, you're out of your mind. If you think you're going to invade Rafah and have this be like not a massive fuck up, you're insane. Don't do it. Israel, while he was in the meeting, took over a historic amount of hectares of Palestinian land. They seized like 800 hectares of Palestinian land while he was in the meeting. He got out of the meeting and they're like, what do you think about, you know, your administration has said like settlements are bad. And while you were in this meeting, like they took over, you know, the most amount of Palestinian land. And he was like, yeah, that's bad, I think. I don't really know. Like they're doing that on purpose. Like they're openly, Benjamin Netanyahu is openly saying like, I don't care about America. Like they're going to keep giving me money. They're going to keep giving me the guns.
Does Anthony Blinken care? Like it's
a
strange, I don't know.
I think there's a realpolitik of it where I do think that like Israel's actions of this magnitude is reflecting poorly on American power.
Right.
It shows like that we have no control over our own attack dog. So, and I think that it definitely like it is moved beyond like, oh, this is really hard to like do PR around. Oh no, too many Palestinian children dead. Like that kind of looks bad. Like, I don't think that's the point. There's a larger problem here, which is that the rest of the world is looking at America and America's rabid attack dog and going, what the fuck? You can't even rein your shit in? Like what's wrong with you? Why do you keep giving them guns?
Yeah.
Like, why do you keep giving them more weapons as you simultaneously are saying like, don't do this? And I think that is the problem.
It's a hilarious situation. That's outside of all the death. It's just like
yeah.
They have no control.
Yeah, it's completely.
But they have to keep supplying.
Yeah. What happens if Israel refuses to abide? What's the potential for extending the ceasefire?
I don't think the UN does anything.
The UN doesn't do anything. It's just that like it adds another line of official pressure to Israel's actions.
Well, it just means UN is also Hamas, and that's kind of it.
Well, first of all,
they already are.
Oh baby, that was established from the jump. Like, this ain't news. You know what I'm saying? Like we been know that UN is Hamas. My favorite official, the UN envoy, Gilad Erdan, had said that sorry, I was just looking at my Twitter DMs because I don't have Twitter on my phone, so I just like that's the first time I actually end up seeing
When did
Twitter.
you stop?
I think I literally DM'd you on Twitter like a month ago. I think at this point.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's so much better for my brain to not be on it on my phone. Like I'm obviously always going to be on it for work, but like it just feels incredible.
Well, you're a genius. I got a notification the other day. It was like in a month my phone sends me like my usage stats and it said I used it for 2 hours while driving that month. I was like, that's impossible. I never drive.
Just revealed you committed a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrest them, officers. Constable. Get him. Oh no.
That's all we said.
He did the constable face. He will never be arrested.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's one of us.
Yeah.
Carry on, sir.
Federbich's tweet is completely unhinged. He's a foreign actor at this point. Check him PC. Yeah, I don't know what the what's wrong with that guy's brain. Well, we do know what's wrong with his brain, like literally. but like he got the one specific stroke that makes you like insanely pro-Israel. That's what happened. They hit him with the heart attack gun, and my boy stroked out and was like so unimaginably pro-Israel after that. I don't know what happened.
That's been there at the United Nations Security Council and with regard to Israel since the beginning of this war. Netanyahu said that this was a clear retreat. The US has since hit back and denied that, saying this does not represent a policy shift. But in some of the words that Netanyahu's been putting out already since this UN vote, you can see just how dismayed, angry he is.
That shit,
he says
dude.
It gives Hamas hope that international pressure will allow for a ceasefire without the release of Israel's abductees. So it's just laying bare once again the rift between the Biden administration and the current Israeli government.
Joining us now to talk about Trump's deadline in New York tomorrow and much more, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us. So 5 years ago, as a brand new member of the House of Representatives, you grilled Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, about whether Mr. Trump had lied about his finances for tax purposes. Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, says that testimony directly led to her office's fraud investigation.
I don't care about this shit unless, like, where's the actual Gaza stuff? Because they hyped this shit up like she's talking about Gaza, which she did. She called it a genocide.
Whoa, that's so brave.
I mean, it is for American politics. Yeah, it's pretty brave, to be fair, bro. In America, when you say that, they kill you. They don't kill you, but it is low key kind of wild. I'm not lying. I just talked to my therapist. She finally convinced me to delete X. I'm less depressed now. Congratulations. All right, can you hit him with some fat beats while this goes on? While I go poop. I need to poop. I need to poo.
Oh, you're gonna poo.
Well, I need to not poo, but like I need to get ready.
Oh shit! I'm not going like this.
No, you're going like that. Okay, we'll do.
We'll take
in the Republican conference.
You know how to do it, right?
You government funding bill this week on Friday. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie.
Within the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said,
"How did I even do that?
I don't even know, bro."
I pressed this.
Oh, you went back.
Oh.
Joining us now to talk about Trump's deadline in aid.
Oh, here.
You gave a very forceful speech on the House floor Friday about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. You called on President Biden to cut off U.S. military aid to Israel. I think we have a clip of part of what you said. Let's roll that.
If you want to know what an unfolding genocide looks like, open your eyes. It looks like the forced famine of 1.1 million innocents. We must write our story in this moment of what it means and who we are as Americans. And our story must be not that we were good men who did nothing.
Now, clearly,
Alexis
not
Tree.
enough aid
Hell
is
yeah.
getting in. Clearly, the conditions for the Palestinian people are horrific and much more needs
See
to
my
be
big
done.
iron cover.
Genocide,
that was completely AI.
Is a word.
And yeah, I don't actually know how to sing or play guitar. We just did the kind of AI thing that people do for Hasan. I just did it for I did a thing video. Technology's getting great. I can explain the song lyrics in Waltzing Matilda. I can. It's very, very interesting. Maybe it's interesting. You used to have back in the day, people like trying to get apprenticeships, like trying to learn a trade, but like everyone was living in weird little like backwater settlements. So there was nowhere to go. Like if you wanted to learn to like shear sheep, you couldn't learn it unless you like traveled to a place where they were doing it and then like learnt your trade there. So they did this thing called Waltzing Matilda, and Matilda was the name of their like sleeping bag. And they'd kind of like dance around the country with their sleeping bag, and it was called Matilda. It's kind of like the thing they cuddle every night. And it's also called Matilda because like a lot of the settlers at that time were German, which I didn't know about either. And yeah, so he'd dance around the countryside with his sleeping bag until he found an appropriate master to teach him his trade. But then, I guess, in the song, he's kind of going around the countryside and he's hungry and he steals someone's sheep, and then some like countryside police come and catch him and he jumps in the river and drowns because he doesn't want to go to jail. And that was going to be our national anthem. It's a beautiful story. It makes me cry every time. I'm glad I was sleeping when Hasan played it. What is proto body pillows? Yeah, yeah. They're actually the original Australians were all like weebs. Does Hasan snore? I don't know. He was on the other side of the house in my room, so I think it's like inaudible. Oh, Yugoslavia forever. Yeah. Someone was telling me about this the other day, and I've never seen it. Wake Wilder. Why would you make this? What is this?
What the I'm sorry, chat.
No, they liked it. Did they like it?
I apologize for what this demon did. I thought he would have just you literally watched like 3 seconds of the AOC video and immediately swapped it over to Yugoslavian music.
No, I did what chat wanted.
Okay.
I listened to these people unlike you. They told me what to do and I said, yes, you guys are completely right.
Yeah, okay, first of all, one thing you need to learn about Twitch streaming is that chat doesn't know what's best for chat. They think, oftentimes they'll have an idea in their heads about something being a phenomenal decision, okay? And they are almost always wrong. This is a constant. Chat doesn't know what's best for itself, so the streamer dictates what's best for chat. That's number one. Someone linked him Wake's Yugoslavia Forever song. Yeah, I probably, that's what it is. That's what happened, I suspect. Anyway, regardless, I have... as an Albanian whose parents were born in Yugoslavia, this song jives with my childhood memories, spending my summers visiting. I also prefer the Yugoslavia versus saying Northern Macedonia. Hearing you guys say it makes me feel nostalgic.
Saying what? Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia. He feels nostalgic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's really nice.
Anyway.
That's beautiful. But what are we meant to say?
North Macedonia? Anyway, number 2, there's an ad break that's never actually at the top of the hour. It's actually middle of the stream. Yeah, well, I already ran that. It was not linked. Someone just mentioned it, and he looked it up himself. Okay, so no one linked it even. Okay, regardlars.
Oh, yeah, someone mentioned it as well. It's a...
Okay, play this. Let me play this while I also... wait, oh, you have... No, where's my bag? Okay. I have to set this up as well. While this plays, while I give you some commentary... And then we'll keep doing political commentary and like news commentary in the car ride over to the place that we're going to before we go into the animal fun, animal touching, animal petting part of the stream.
Word that has serious and specific connotations and allegations. It's defined by the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So you, just to clarify here, you believe the Israeli military, the Israeli government are actively trying, they intend to destroy the Palestinian people, and not that what's happening is horrible, but it's happening because Israel is going after the terrorists of Hamas who attacked them on October 7th, and Hamas embeds within the civilian population?
Well, Jake, you're absolutely right. This word is extremely serious. It's one that's taken with extraordinary gravity. And to me, the threshold of intent is a high one. It is a serious one and is not one that is made lightly. However, when we look at the precipice of what is happening with a forced famine of 1.1 million Gazans, where multiple governments, NGOs, and even officials within the United States State Department have stated themselves plainly that the Israeli government and leaders in the Israeli government are intentionally denying, blocking, and slow-walking this aid and are precipitating a mass famine. I believe we have crossed the threshold of intent. It is horrific. I think it is extremely clear and it is extremely important that all people understand the difference between people and their governments, Israelis and the Israeli government, Palestinians from Hamas. But what we are seeing here, I think, with a forced famine is beyond our ability to deny or explain away. There is no targeting of Hamas in precipitating a mass famine of 1 million people, half of whom are children.
So I asked Israeli officials about your speech, and they say, we are allowing hundreds of aid trucks into Gaza every single day. They're trying to increase those numbers. They have to inspect the cargo to make sure no weapons are getting in, weapons that would be used by Hamas against the people of Israel. Israeli officials also argue this war could end tomorrow if Hamas freed the hostages and laid down the arms. Do you disagree?
I do disagree, because when we are talking about famine, the actions of Hamas should not be tied to whether a 3-year-old can eat. The actions of Hamas do not justify forcing thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to eat grass as their bodies consume themselves. We and the Israeli government has a right to go after Hamas. But we are talking about a population of millions of innocent Palestinians. We are talking about collective punishment, which is injustifiable. And the excuses that the Israeli government is giving about what they are and are not allowing simply do not square with what the UK government is stating, with what international aid organizations are stating, and even what our own State Department officials are stating, which is that they are not allowing aid to go through. When they're talking about inspections, we're talking about U.S. aid, the United States aid. And so I think that if we are to operate as allies, then we must operate in good faith to uphold the principles of democracy, which includes respect for human rights, and also proving the value of our democracy, which is that we are different than authoritarian, and we are different from other types of regimes with no regard for innocent people.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, if you're just joining us right now, we have some breaking news to report out of New York. This is where a state appeals court judge has just granted Trump's request to stay the $464 million judgment in his New York civil fraud case. The court has granted him 10 days to pay a reduced bond of $175 million.
And our Errol Barnett is joining us now. He's outside the Manhattan courtroom covering this hearing for us. Errol, update us with all that you know.
Well, Vlad and Chanel, this is a significant win, you could call it, for former President Trump, although it just grants him a bit more breathing room and it reduces the amount of money he would need to put up as he continues to insist that he's innocent. Just to recap for everyone, this is the civil fraud trial which claimed that the Trump Organization, that's Donald Trump, his sons, Eric and Don Jr., as well as Alan Weisselberg and others, inaccurately and fraudulently submitted documents, banking statements as it relates to Donald Trump's net worth and the value of his properties. We all know Trump Tower. It includes 40 Wall Street and many others as well. Now, a judge already ruled that over the course of many years, Trump and his associates had overestimated their value by the billions, almost $2 billion. And in the judgment was that former President Trump had to pay at least $460 million by today in order to continue his appeal. Now, what's just happened here in the last few moments is that a New York appeals court has granted Trump's request to stay that judgment, meaning pause it, put it on hold as he continues, and he's already communicated this publicly, to struggle to get the cash on hand or to get surety companies which facilitate getting the cash on hand for him. This New York appeals court has reduced the amount that Trump would need to put up from $464 million down to $175 million, and they've given him now a week plus 10 more days to give that money over to the state effectively as he continues his appeal. So all of that unfolding in just the last few minutes, and separately behind me, the courthouse behind me, is where a judge is listening to both legal teams as it relates to a hush money payment from Donald Trump to a pornographic actress before the 2016 election. So that's what's just unfolded here, Vlad and Chanel, in just the last few minutes.
All right, Errol Barnett for us live in Lower Manhattan, where you are covering that hush money case. Former president is in Lower Manhattan this morning. Errol, we expect to see him a little bit later when he comes out. I'm sure he will have words for the camera, and obviously we will bring that to you live right here at CBS News.